TikTok, YouTube, what is going on? We'll get started here shortly. We will get started here shortly. Y'all let me know what city y'all chiming in from. What city are you chiming in from? Let me know. Sending love from Shreveport, Louisiana. I've never been there before. Sheila. San Diego. Yo, I was supposed to be in San Diego tomorrow. They canceled the concert I was going to go to. I still might come out there though. Welcome, welcome. We'll get started here in a second. So today I want to come on and talk about the delusion of success. Are people delusional when it comes to the type of success they want? And I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. I'm asking a question for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Is there a form of delusion that people have when it comes to wanting to be successful? And here's why I asked that question. Here's why I asked that question. So I can remember, for those who don't know my story, hello, glad to watch your lives. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. So I can remember back in 2003, and I'm looking at two screens. I got YouTube and I got TikTok on. Okay. So in 2003, for those who haven't read my book, Full Time CEO, I highly recommend you go pick it up. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on audible.com. You can see the book title right here on the wall. And so you can't see it on TikTok. I think you can. There it go right there. So in 2003, I can remember when I first got into entrepreneurship, and I can remember, my mentor at the time, a gentleman by the name of John Malott. You can actually search him online. He's very active, still extremely successful. But John Malott, I tell him this all the time, every time I talk to him, every time I make a post about him. John Malott saved my life. And he saved my life because he taught me how to be the person I am today. Let me say that again. He taught me how to be the person I am today. And here's why I say that. I think also often, a lot of us, when we're going on this journey of entrepreneurship, we want to be successful, but we don't know how to be successful. And here's what I mean. So when we are, when we find and seek out mentorship, we often are like, hey, can I sit down and pick your brain? And it's interesting when people ask, even when they ask me that question, and I'm like, when you ask to pick someone's brain, do you even really know what to ask them? Think about that. When you ask to pick someone's brain, do you even know what to ask? I remember when the question about, do you have dinner with Jay-Z or take 500,000? Which one would you take? And I noticed only black people said, oh, I'll sit down with Jay-Z. And even Jay-Z said he would not sit down with Jay-Z. And that is because we have a lot of people, especially from our community, have this such an infatuation with celebrityism. Let me tell y'all, they don't have all the answers like you think they do. Okay. Right, London. Give me the 500. Fast. Venmo it, Zelle, Cash App, whatever you got to do. Give me the 500. And so here's the thing. And so I can remember my mentor, John Malott, and me, saying, hey, can I pick your brain? And people reach out to me, ask, can they pick my brain? And this, that, and the third. And I'm like, do you even know what questions to ask? And for most people, the answer is no. Because if you don't know what success looks like, if you don't know, if you came from the communities that a lot of us came from, we don't know how to become. So how do we know how to ask the right questions in the on the journey of becoming? And here's what I mean. So when someone asked me, Will, can I pick your brain? And I said, what is it that you want to ask me? And it stumped them. And they said, well, Will, what is it that I have, what is it that you did that I need to do to become successful, or to increase my to better my life, or to make more money, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And here's what my response was. I was willing to do what you are not willing to do. Let me say that again. When he asked me, what is the one thing that you did that I need to do for me to get to where you are? And I said, I was willing to do, and still in present tense, I'm willing to do everything that you are not willing to do. See, when John Malott was my mentor back in 2003, I never asked to pick his brain. I provided value to him so he would want to be around me. Because why would he stop his entire life to pour into somebody who's not yet deserving of his intimate space? And so here's what I said to John. I said, John, can I just drive you to your appointments? 2 days out the week, can I just drive you around? First of all, I get to drive his brand new Cadillac Escalade in 2003. So I was like, I was willing to show him what my level of value is. So I said, John, 2 days a week, can I just drive you around? And I'm not going to ask you anything. I just want to be a fly on the wall. And here's why I said that to him. I wanted to hear the level of conversation he was having with people. I wanted to hear the dialogue he was having. I wanted to hear the exchange he was having with people. Because, see, you learn more from people by watching what they do versus what you tell them. I'll give you an example. If you had a virtual personal trainer, okay, if you had a personal trainer who was virtual, and they instructed you over the phone on how to do a bicep curl. Okay. If you can't see the form of the bicep curl, you may not perfect the form, but they can tell you how to do the bicep curl versus being in their presence and they walking you through on how to do the bicep curl. See, so when I was asking John Malott, can I just drive you around? I just want to be a fly on the wall. I'm not going to ask you any questions. I just want to hear how you talk to people. I want to hear how you close deals. I want to hear how you recruit new recruits. I want to hear how you close sales. I want to hear how you talk to your banker, how you talk to your accountant, how you talk to your sales organization, how you talk to your employees, your contractors. I was learning how to be an effective communicator to build an organization. I wasn't going to waste his time asking him, so how do I make $1 million? Because you don't make $1 million asking, you make $1 million by executing. And most of the questions that people ask you are non-executing questions. I'll give you an example. Here's another question people ask me. What book do you read? What whatever book I'm reading is not going to necessarily help you. And here's why. Now, I'm not saying reading books don't help you, but what I'm saying is that where I am at in my journey, I get something completely different, or I get different value out of whatever book I'm reading at that particular time. And the way that I digest the information is going to be completely different, because what I'm looking to extract out of that book is completely different. Like, I don't read it straight through. I read a book, and I'm trying to see if I got a book handy around here. And so when I read a book, if I get what I need from chapter 2, I put the book down so I can go execute what I learned from the first 2 chapters. But what we do, or what most people do, they read the book through its entirety, and then they don't execute anything in there to actually see what they need to work on, what they need to implement, what they need to get better at. And so when we're asking people, hey, let me pick your brain, or Jay-Z, let me sit down with you. No, take the 500,000. Because at least if you have 500,000, you can pay to get into the rooms that you need to be able to pay for. Because there's a cost of admission for whatever your goal is. So going back to my topic, when it comes to our level of success, are we delusional with our goals? And that's only a question you can answer for yourself. Because here's the other pain point that a lot of us deal with. See, when I said I'm willing to do what you aren't willing to do, that's the only reason why I'm here today. See, back in 2005, when I moved to Las Vegas, I cut everything off. Everything. I didn't date. I didn't go out. I didn't take trips. I well, the car I was driving, I didn't pay the bill because I couldn't afford the car payment. I wasn't participating in dating, having no sex. Like, I pretty much just went underground. I didn't do anything because I had to become what I wanted to actually become. And so some people aren't willing to have what's called a hard reset of their entire life. They're just not. Most people are not willing to have a hard reset. Most people are not willing to give up watching television. Most people aren't willing to give up happy hour. Most people are not willing to give all of that stuff up to become who they need to become. We all say, oh, we need distractions, or I got to enjoy the moment, or I need advice, or all of these. We come up with all of these cliches, and that's why you are where you are. That's why you look like you're doing something, but you don't get the result. Like, has this ever been you? Because I know this was me at one point. I was going to the gym every day and lost no weight, like for 2 years straight. I'm thinking I'm doing something. I got my little Nike Tech duffel bag. I got all of the latest workout equipment, the headband, the sleeve. I got I had to go get the brand new soft gel Nike running shoes, and I got zero results. Sheila said, that's exactly what I have done for the past 2 years. But why was it I got no result? Because I really didn't lock in. I was pretending. I just want to tell people I'm going to the gym. We just want to tell people we are entrepreneur. We just want to tell people we got an LLC. And then we get to comparing and say, man, why they? And I'm going to tell y'all why. Why a lot of the times we don't get the necessary results that we think we should. Okay. But before I go into the reason why, let me also talk about why there is a cost of admission for your success. And that cost of admission doesn't mean you necessarily are paying for something. The cost of admission could be paying in your time, paying for information, paying for resources, paying for relationships. Yes, you got to pay for relationships. Let me give you an example. So in 2019, Robert F. Smith, who was who's one of the most wealthiest black men in America, delivered the commencement speech at Morehouse College in 2019. He actually is the CEO of Vista Equity Partners, which is a private equity firm. They invest and buy tech companies and all type of things. Okay, and so he's a billionaire philanthropist. Okay, and so after he delivers this commencement speech at Morehouse, he says, "You know what? I'm feeling really good today. It's a proud moment to be black. I'm at a black college. I'm paying off everybody's student loan debt." And he actually paid off $34 million in student loan debt for everybody at Morehouse. And he said, "You know what? Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to put together and architect an incubator program where I'm going to teach each and every last one of you all how to become successful. So for everybody who joins my small incubator business entrepreneurship program, I'm going to teach you all everything you need to know, and I'm even going to do it for free." Okay. So now he paid off $34 million of student loan debt. I think it was probably like 4,000 people in that graduating class. Do you all know when he put together that incubator program, it was free to anybody who graduated from that graduating class in Morehouse? Less than 50 people would show up to the free workshops. Less than 50. 4,000 people got their student loan debt paid off. They all said they want to be successful. They all said they wanted his life. They all said they want to be a billionaire, millionaire, and 100,000aire. And less than 50 people would show up to the Zoom meetings that he was doing for free on his dime, because his time was very valuable. And when I read that, it affirmed everything that I understand about people. Is that people have a delusion when it comes to them wanting to be successful. If somebody, if there's not, if a person does not have an attachment that will force them to work, they won't work. This is why so many people do not do things for free for poor people. And when I say poor, the acronym is passing over opportunities repeatedly. I'm not talking about how much or the amount you have in your bank account or your pocket. Poor is an acronym. Poor is a state of mind. Poor is a form of trauma. Less than 50 people showed up. And it blew my mind because everybody in the room was screaming, "Oh, I want to be a millionaire, a trillionaire, a gazillion." Like, I speak with people like this every single day. This is why I say picking my brain will not help you to become any more valuable. Picking my brain will not help you to become successful. Picking my brain, picking Magic Johnson's brain, picking Earn Your Leisure's brain. Like, you can go find whoever your favorite influencer, the greatest entrepreneur. People had access to Robert Smith, and they still couldn't rise to the occasion. Picking your brain or picking someone's brain does not change your circumstance. You have to, and you have to be willing to become. So that's why when somebody asks me, "Will, what is it? What's the one thing you would tell me? Or what is it that you did to get to where you are?" And when I said that I was willing to do all of the things that you are not willing to do, I was willing to sleep in my car. I was willing to invest even when I didn't have the money to invest in myself. I can remember driving my car across state lines with the unregistered plates, because I never could afford to get my car registered in 2005, over to Arizona to go to as many workshops that John Malott was having. See, You have to create a habit of discipline, a habit of success, a habit of work ethic, a habit of this and that. See, I call that, and let me pull this out because I actually wrote this in my notes yesterday when I was talking to my REI 90 team. See, the one thing that I often tell people that separates myself and successful people, okay, son, is grit. You have to have grit. And grit is an acronym. Let me tell you what grit means. See, the G in grit stands for growth mindset. You have to be willing to have a mindset of growth, not of scarcity. See, even when I didn't have, I never told myself I couldn't afford something. I never said, oh, I can't afford that to drive to Arizona. I can't afford to get into that workshop. I can't afford that book. I can't afford that you know that intensive. I would always say, how can I afford it? Oh, let me sell a pair of my shoes. Oh, let me go wash some cars. Oh, let me go. Like, it wasn't no Uber and DoorDash back in 2006. Nowadays, you literally can get on social media and say, hey, I now sell candles. Like, you can go on TikTok and sell this. For those who can't see, it's a candle. You can create a TikTok shop and sell candles. And you can sell 5 or 6 of these candles. And the next thing you know, other candle companies will reach out to you and say, hey, can you sell my candles? So do you even have the growth mindset? Are you willing to put down the hookah? Are you willing to put down the weed for a weekend? You got to have a growth mindset. Too many people have a scarcity mindset. Like, it blows my mind that Black people think only Black people sell information. Y'all clearly don't get outside your own backyard, because when you go to these other communities, yo to get in some of these rooms, it's more than what you paid for your house. Let me say that. It's called the cost of admission. Look up the cost of a country club. That's really the country club is a course you're paying to get into. Maybe not a course where you're going through instructional, but it's a course because being in that environment, you learn more than actually learning how to know your ABCs, because that's really what quote unquote courses are. So us Black people, we got to stop assuming that, oh, only Black people sell courses. That's not true. That's not true. So stop having a scarcity mindset. You got to have a growth mindset. The R stands for resilient. Resilient. See, it's interesting because I remember watching a video with Gilbert Arenas, who used to play. So I remember watching Gilbert Arenas, or watching a podcast with Gilbert Arenas, and he talked about how he used to shoot 10,000 shots a day. And I think about the average person who is wanting to be better at something, and how many times they are willing to work through that motion to be better. And here's one of the things that I've learned. Most people aren't willing to fail their way to a level of success. Here's what I mean. Go to any gym in the world. Well, I'm gonna just say North America. Go to any gym in North America January 1st. You would think you're walking into the club. You can't even get in. People are lined up around the walls trying to get on a machine at any gym in North America January 1st. February 10th, it's empty. February 10th, gym empty. Why? Because people don't even have the resilience to continue to get the desired result. And I started asking myself, if you wanted to be financially successful so bad, if you wanted to lose the weight so bad, why do you give yourself a 2-week window? And then I had to go down the rabbit hole even more. And here's what I came up with. Let me tell y'all what I came up with. So, and I'm weaving in a bunch of stories and scenarios, but I promise you they all intertwine. So let's take two people who are trying to lose weight. Okay. Two people, they want to lose weight, and one of them has 150 pounds to lose, and one has 10. Okay. One is 150, one is 10. You have to look at when you have 150 pounds to lose, how much harder you have to work versus the person who has 10. Big difference. Big difference. The person who has 10 pounds to lose, their habit is going to be different than the person who has 150. Because the person who has 150 pounds, they have to change their entire lifestyle. I'll give you another example. I can remember when I used to work for Yellow Pages in 2006. And let me tell you what my eating habit was in 2006. In 2006, I remember, no, excuse me, 2008. On my way to work, I would stop at Burger King and get a egg and cheese croissant sandwich. And then for lunch, I would get a honey bun. Excuse me, for snack, I would have a honey bun. And then for lunch, I would go and have some fried fish and French fries, or some Panda Express orange chicken and rice. And then on the way home, I would stop and get a burger and fries. And then I would eat dinner. And then I would have a midnight snack, some ice cream, some chips, some Doritos, some pop. And so now I'm going to the gym every day, but my habits didn't reflect that. Versus the person who only had 10 pounds to lose, their habit can be completely different than mine. Why is that? Because I had to change my entire lifestyle. I had to throw everything in the cabinets, everything in the pantry, everything in my fridge away. I had to be willing to change my entire output on food and create a whole different level of discipline. I was eating 6,000 calories a day. That's a lot of people's issue. They like, oh, I don't eat a lot. Yeah, but you ate 4 honey buns. That's like 3,000 calories. So there's a level of delusion of where we start from. So because one person has 150 pounds to lose versus a person who only has 10 pounds to lose, but you're comparing yourself to somebody who gets the result of losing 10 pounds because they lost in 2 weeks, and it might take you 2 years to lose 150. But that's because where you're starting at, you're literally starting underground first. And so let's bring this over to the world of finance. Here's what happens, because I deal with this all the time. I'll have someone come to me and say, Will, I want to be successful. I want to make more money, or I want to get into real estate, whatever the case may be. And they'll start working with us, and they don't get the results as fast as they would like. Okay. They don't get the result as fast as they would like. And so what ends up happening is that once we do an audit, we have to look at it and say, wow, let's look at where you started from. Let's look at where you started from. Okay. You have $200,000 in student loan debt. You bought a $300,000 house you can't afford. You got a $60,000 vehicle you can't afford. You got $70,000 in consumer credit card debt. You love traveling. You love going to happy hour. You can't stay out the clubs. You like borrowing money to friends, family, and relatives. Like you have $270,000 of mounting debt. You make $50,000 a year, and you think buying one house or joining one course or hopping on a few lives is going to change your life, or picking somebody's brain is going to give you that one magical answer that's going to help you to become financially successful. No, first of all, you got to change your entire financial lifestyle. You have to change your financial level of discipline. You have to first address the $270,000 of debt. Because even if you go out there and do a deal and make 100,000, you're still 175,000 in debt. But yet you're comparing yourself to some 20-year-old who had no debt, no bills, no financial baggage, and then they get on the internet and they're driving the car that they want. Like they're living the life that you aspire to live, not knowing that you started negative $270,000 in a hole on your journey. When people come to us and ask, hey, can you help fix my credit? But they got $80,000 of bad credit card debt. They got 2 cars in repossessions. They got a bankruptcy on their credit. Your credit is not going to improve in 3 weeks or in 3 months. We have to address the bad spending habits first. It's a video on TikTok right now where a woman said during the pandemic, she got an EDIL loan from SBA for 900 grand and she's broke right now. 900,000. See, money doesn't change people's situation. It's your habits. It's your discipline. So when people are trying to compare themselves to other people, you have to first look at where you're starting from. And for most people, and this is a question I want you all to ask yourselves, are you starting at a deficit? See, if we're both running a race, depending on how much baggage you come to the race with, I may have a 100-yard advantage over you because I don't have as much financial baggage. Most people have a ton of financial baggage right now. But that is because of the lack of what they knew about money and finances and work ethic and investing. So we have to help you to create a different level we have to create a growth mindset. We have to create a level of resilience. The I in grit stands for integrity. Are you integrous to yourself? Are you going to keep your word? See, here's something that I know that I often tell people we have to have. We have to start having courage. We have to start having courage. Ask yourself, do you have the courage to go through what you have to go through to get what you want? Let me read the definition of courage, because I think most people don't know the definition of words that we use. Let me tell you what the textbook, because when I ask people, what does that word mean? Well, I feel it means, no, let's look at the actual definition of the word courage. Courage means the ability to do something that frightens one. The ability to do something that frightens one. The ability to choose to face danger, pain, uncertainty, or intimidation, even though it may be difficult or risky. Now ask yourself, are you willing to go through the dangers that it takes to become who you want to become, physically or financially? See, danger for someone who's trying to lose 100 pounds may be they aren't used to cutting their calories. They aren't used to not eating fast food. They aren't used to stop eating sweets. They aren't used to not eating fried food. That terrifies people because food has become their coping mechanism. Are you willing to endure the pain of working out? Are you willing to endure the pain on getting on the treadmill? Are you willing to endure the pain of walking those 5,000 steps to eventually get to 10,000 steps, to eventually get to 15,000 steps? Are you willing to endure that level of pain? Are you willing to endure the uncertainty that's going to come with that? And the uncertainty is you're going to have to cut people off. Your A1 best friend might stop hanging with you all because of the decisions you choose to improve your life. I lost a lot of friends on this journey. Friends, family. Oh, I lost a lot of people on this journey. A lot. They said, Will, you changed. Yeah, that's because I'm supposed to. I'm 45. I'm not sagging my pants. Like I don't do the same. I shouldn't be doing the same thing I was doing at 20. But that takes a level of certainty. But so many people have uncertainty of being lonely, of lacking companionship. So ask yourself, do you have the courage to become who you want to become? Do you have the courage to be a millionaire? Do you have the courage to have the body you want? Because there's pain associated with that gain. So the level of integrity that you have to have to yourself of keeping your word to where you can stay in the gym for the entire 12 months and not just for a 3-week time period. We go to the gym for the first month of the year just so we can post. Trust me, I used to do all of this stuff. I really just come on here and share what I've been through, so y'all don't have to go through what I had to go through. And then the last one for the word grit is tenacity. Are you tenacious? Are you tenacious? Let me tell you the definition of tenacity if you don't know. The quality or fact of being able to grip something firmly. Meaning, can you hold on? Can you hold on long enough to see the result? I tell people for years I made no money as an entrepreneur, but I was willing to still exercise the muscle of making calls. I was still willing to exercise the muscle of saving or becoming financially disciplined. I was still willing to exercise the muscle of going to workshops, of investing in myself and reading the books and doing all of the activities that it takes for me to be able to become whatever that looks like for you. I don't know. I was willing to do all of the things that other person who asked me, Will, what's the one thing you would tell me to get to that next level? And I said, I'm willing to do all of the things that you probably are not willing to do. I was tenacious. Are you tenacious? Do you have the tenacity to hold on in the rough moments? Do you have the tenacity to endure the thousands of no's you're going to get? Do you have the tenacity to go out there and get the data through what most people call failure, but it's really information so you know what not to do? Do you have the tenacity of people talking about you behind your back because they said you changed? Do you have the tenacity to continue to go out there because you're willing to bet on you? Do you have the tenacity to lose those individuals who didn't buy into your vision? I was completely fine with leaving every single person behind who wasn't in agreement to the life I wanted to create. And not saying I needed their support or wanted their help. I mean, don't bother me while I'm on this journey. That's what I mean. If you're going to make me feel bad for wanting to eat right, if you're going to shame me into oh, you deserve to not go to that workshop. You've been going for 6 months. You deserve that piece of cake, even though I know you're trying to eat clean. You deserve to take that sip of alcohol, even though you said you're not drinking anymore. I don't need people in my corner who's going to encourage my demise. And here's why I think so many people encourage the downfall of people. See, if you want to be loved, just fail. If you want to be loved, fail. I'll give you an example. Go through a bad breakup. All your friends will come out. Oh, it's gonna be okay. He wasn't good for you. She wasn't good for you. But when y'all are happy in love, they can't stand y'all. Fail at that business. Oh, it's okay. But when you were out there grinding, trying to get the business to go right, they didn't even come to you. They didn't even repost your post. They wouldn't even forward your website link. So I often say you have to have tenacity for success, because during your journey of success, that is when you will experience the most hate. But if you want to feel loved, if you want people to admire you, if you want people to praise you, just fail. Fail at anything. You can walk into a room with people who supposedly love you and they'll say, "Oh, look at him. He think he all that." But walk into that room and trip and fall and everybody come in there trying to help pick you up. No, why not come and greet me as I'm coming into the room? Why do I have to have a level of demise for people to want to check on me? So you have to have tenacity to be able to deal with those two different extremes. Because regardless of what you may think, and let me share this with you all, dealing with people who feel sorry for you or who you feel sorry for will mess you up for life. Because people who you feel sorry for or who feel sorry for you will be the ones that will keep you trapped. This is why you have to have grit in life. You have to. So let's go out there. Let's continue to be great. Let's have grit. Let's get out of this level of delusion and thinking life is going to be easy and peaches and cream and strawberries and all that stuff. And let's go out there and bet on ourselves. We have to. So with that being said, I will give you the rest of your Wednesday back. And I just appreciate y'all hopping on this live. And until then, I'll see y'all at the top. Peace.